Bgmc. The biblical truth lives here.
We are living in a time like no other in history, but fortunately for us, God wrote it all down in His prophecies. Find out what prophecies happened this week ripped straight from the headlines. Stay tuned for the Prophecy Headlines news show on the Remnant's Call.
For the Remnant's Call, End Time Prophecy News. Everybody. First news story about Jews.
La primera historia sobre los judíos.
This is a fascinating story.
Esa es una noticia fascinante.
We might have to all move there.
Quizás nos mudemos todos para allá.
In Monroe Township, New York.
En Monroe County, New York.
They voted this past election.
Ellos votaron en estas elecciones pasadas.
They're going to have a whole Hasidic town.
Ellos van a tener toda una comunidad hasídica.
Okay, it's going to be called Teitelbaum.
Se le va a llamar Teitelbaum.
Okay, and they should be a town by the year 2020. They're starting the process.
Y eso va a ser para el 2020. Ya han comenzado ya el proceso.
So what are you going to see on Friday night?
Así que vas a ver el viernes en la
You're going to
noche.
see a bunch of Jews walking
Vas a ver muchos judíos caminando
in their own town,
en su propio
having the
vecindario,
goys turn on the lights.
teniendo los enseñando las luces.
Okay, that's an interesting. I was like, wow. All right, going on to the next slide. All right. There's war in the Middle East right now.
Hay guerra en el Medio Oriente ahora mismo.
Okay, there's political turmoil in Saudi Arabia.
Hay una terminación política en Arabia Saudita
and Lebanon.
y en el Líbano.
So right now, Saudi Arabia and Yemen are at war.
Ahora mismo Arabia Saudita y Yemen están en guerra.
So Israel is gearing up to be at war.
Así que Israel está a punto de estar en guerra también.
So pray every day for the leadership of Israel.
Así que ore cada día por los líderes de Israel.
Going on to the next news story. Our representative to the United Nations,
Nuestro representante de las Naciones Unidas,
she said the United States wanted structural changes to the human rights abusers in the United Nations.
ellos han dicho que los Estados Unidos está buscando estructuras de cambios que los mantengan en los derechos de los observantes de la Unión Civil, de la Unión de Consular.
One of the last things that President Obama, the stinky president,
Una de las últimas cosas que el presidente Obama
was said that the settlements were illegal in Israel.
fue que dijo que los settlements estaban ilegales en
So
Israel.
President Trump has changed that.
Y el presidente Trump está cambiando todo esto.
Going on to the next slide, anti-Semitism. Please pay attention to this.
Por favor, preste atención a las noticias de antisemitismo.
They did a study this, and they presented it to the Judiciary Committee of the United States government.
Ellos hicieron un estudio y estuvieron presentándole en el comité jurídico de aquí de Estados Unidos.
There has been a 40% rise
Que ha habido un 40% de incremento
of anti-Semitism on the college campuses.
en un crecimiento del 40% del antisemitismo en todos los campos de educativos.
If you study history,
Si estudias historia,
this is exactly what happened before the Holocaust in 1938.
eso fue exactamente lo que ocurrió antes de la Segunda Guerra Mundial en el 1939.
Exactly what happened.
Eso es exactamente lo que ocurrió.
Going on to the next news story, end time prophecy news.
Noticias arrancado los encabezados.
Let's see what's going on around the world.
Vamos a ver lo que está pasando alrededor del mundo.
In the book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20,
En Isaías 5:20
it said, in the end of days,
dice que al final de los tiempos
evil will be called good,
lo malo iba a ser llamado bueno
and good will be called evil.
y lo bueno iba a ser llamado malo.
I'm going to show you 3 stories which says exactly that.
Te voy a enseñar 3 historias que dicen exactamente esto.
In the first news story,
En esta primera historia,
There you see the former mayor of Washington, D.C.
ahí puedes ver el alcalde principal de Washington, D.C.
He was arrested a long time ago,
Él fue arrestado hace mucho tiempo
and there's video and audio of him smoking crack cocaine.
y hay videos sobre esto, él usando drogas.
Now in Washington, D.C.,
Ahora en Washington, D.C.,
they want to put a statue of him up,
quieren poner una estatua de él,
showing you how to smoke crack cocaine.
enseñándote cómo utilizar crack y cocaína.
Isn't this amazing?
No, eso es impresionante.
Isaiah said in the end of days,
Isaías ya dijo que al último
evil will be
tiempo
called good.
lo malo iba a ser llamado bueno.
Now, and so here, this guy who died of complications of smoking too much drugs,
Este sujeto que murió por las complicaciones de usar drogas,
they now want to erect a statue of this great leader.
ahora quieren subir una estatua de este gran líder.
Going on to the next thing. There you see Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion.
Ahí puedes ver la mansión Playboy.
They want to make it a historic site in Los Angeles.
Ellos quieren hacer lo quieren hacer un lugar histórico en Los Ángeles.
So here, evil will be called good, and good will be called evil.
Aquí está la noticia dicha de que lo bueno iba a ser llamado malo y lo malo bueno.
So pornography, yes. Bible, no.
Así que para ellos la pornografía sí y la Biblia no.
Going on to the next news story.
La otra historia.
Here in California,
Aquí en California,
in Palm Springs, California,
en Palm Springs, California.
the new city council is now 100% LGBTQ.
Ahora el consejo del estado va a ser 100% LGBT.
In the end of days, evil will be called good.
En el final de los tiempos lo malo iba a ser llamado bueno.
Next news story.
Próxima historia.
Okay? In Proverbs 22, verse 6,
En Proverbio 22:6
it says, train up a child the way that they should go.
dice, entrena al niño en las maneras que debe seguir.
We teach our children here
Le enseñamos a los niños aquí
that you are not going to have sexual relations until you get married.
que no van a tener relaciones sexuales hasta que se casen.
You got that?
¿Entendieron
You
eso?
understand that?
Entienden
And
eso.
we teach adults the same thing.
Y le enseñamos a los adultos lo mismo.
But here, there's a new application for your phone.
Por aquí hay una nueva aplicación para tu teléfono.
The pediatricians are screaming about this.
Los pediatras están gritando esto.
A 12-year-old girl who's pregnant
Una niña de 12 años que está embarazada
can now order abortion drugs online.
puede ordenar medicamentos de aborto por internet.
Well, maybe if you were teaching the laws of God, that you wouldn't need the application.
Probablemente si hubieses estado enseñando las leyes de Dios no necesitarías ni siquiera la
So parents,
aplicación.
check your children's phones.
Así que padres, por favor, miren los teléfonos de
I was
sus
like,
hijos.
what? Now here, Revelation, another prophecy, Revelation 13, verse 16.
Y en otra profecía, en Apocalipsis 13:16,
It talks about the mark of the beast.
habla de la marca de la bestia.
Look at this story. Almost 100% of China is now cashless.
Ahora mismo una mayor parte de China no utiliza dinero.
You pay with your cell phone.
Puedes pagar con tu celular.
That's the mark of the beast, everybody. That's the beginning.
Ese es el comienzo de la marca.
Because you got to put all your information in.
Porque debes de poner toda tu información ahí.
Going on to the next news story, next prophecy, sickness.
Enfermedades.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 22, the Lord said, I'm going to give you sickness
En Deuteronomio 28:22 el Señor dice, te voy a poner
if you don't
enfermedades
follow me.
si no me sigues.
The news story here,
En esa historia,
the school system says you need to have shots to come to school.
y el sistema escolar dice que necesitas las vacunas para estar en la escuela.
But here it is, mumps are coming back.
Pero aquí está el mumps está retornando.
They had 6,000 cases of mumps.
Hay unos ya 6,000 casos de what is mumps? What is mumps? Mumps. Varicela, papera. Ujú.
Okay?
Yeah.
And the people that got the mumps were already vaccinated.
Y las personas que tienen papera ya tienen la vacuna puesta.
They were already vaccinated. So they say to your kids, you need vaccinations. You say no.
Si le dicen a los niños, si usted necesita esa vacuna, tú le dices que no.
Now, in the next news story,
En esta otra historia,
the Black Plague in Madagascar
y la plaga negra en Madagascar
went up another 8% this week.
Ya aumentó en esta semana un 8% más.
Okay, there are now 2,000 people with the Black Plague.
Ya hay unos 2,000 personas con la plaga negra.
What makes this one slightly different than the one in the Middle Ages is it's airborne.
Y lo que la hace diferente a la que ocurrió en la era negra es que es aérea. Se puede contagiar aéreamente.
Okay, so that means if somebody's next to you coughing,
Quiere decir que si una persona está cerca de ti y tose,
how many people here breathe?
¿cuántas personas aquí respiran?
Does everybody breathe?
¿Alguien respira?
Well, then
aquí?
you can catch the Black Plague.
Así que puedes contagiarte de la plaga negra.
So hold your breath until you die.
Así que aguanta el aire hasta que muera.
I mean, this 2,000 people.
Y esto da miedo, son 2,000 personas.
Okay? Next news story about diseases.
Esta otra noticia de enfermedad.
In Australia,
En Australia,
gonorrhea cases have surged 63%.
En Australia esta enfermedad de la gonorrea ya tienen en casos de un 63%.
How do you get gonorrhea?
¿Cómo te contagias de la gonorrea?
By having sexual relations outside of your marriage.
Teniendo relaciones sexuales fuera del matrimonio.
63% raise this year.
Aumentó un 63% en este año.
Going on to the next news story. Prophecy, kingdom versus kingdom. Yeshua said this in Matthew 24.
Y Yeshua ya dijo esta profecía en Mateo 24, reino contra reino.
Here, there was a list by a Christian group called Open Doors.
Aquí hay una lista de un grupo de cristianos que le llaman a esto puertas abiertas, open doors.
And it listed the 50 worst countries for Christians.
Y ellos nombraron ya una lista de 50 países que son anticristianos.
What is interesting about this
Lo que es interesante sobre esto
is the country of Colombia is number 50.
es que el país de Colombia es el número 50.
Okay, so see if your country's on there.
Así que puedes ver si tu país está involucrado ahí.
Most of the rest of the countries are Muslim,
Y la mayoría de esos países son musulmanes,
except for India. That's not a Muslim country.
con excepto de India, que no es un país islámico.
Going on to the next news story. Bearing arms is biblical.
Bearing.
Having a gun is legal in the Bible.
Portar arma, eso es legal en la Biblia. Es bíblico.
Esther chapter 8 verse 11 says so.
En Esther 8:11 lo dice.
Okay, here two news stories.
Aquí hay dos historias.
As we talked about the shooting in Texas.
Así como hablamos del tiroteo en Texas.
Okay, had it not been for the neighbor,
Y quizás si no hubiese sido por ese vecino,
everybody in the church would have been dead.
todos en esa iglesia hubiesen estado muertos.
This man was an atheist that walked into the church.
Este hombre fue un ateo que caminó en esa iglesia.
He took his gun
Tomó su arma.
and went to a 1-year-old child
Fue a una niña de 1 año
who was crying
que estaba ya gritando, llorando.
and murdered that child.
Y asesinó a esa niña.
So when he went out to his car to go get more bullets,
Fue a su auto a buscar más municiones.
the neighbor had heard the shooting.
El vecino escuchó este tiroteo.
The neighbor took his rifle, his AR-15, which is a very good weapon. I recommend it,
El vecino fue y tomó su arma, su R-15, que es una buena arma,
and shot the man in the side.
y le disparó al hombre por el lado.
Going on to the next prophecy.
Próxima profecía.
Look at what happened. Deuteronomy 28 verse 32. This is an amazing prophecy.
Y eso es una profecía bien impresionante, Deuteronomio 28,
The Lord-
32.
The Lord says, when you don't want to follow me, I'm going to give your children to evil.
El Señor dice que cuando no me quiere seguir a mí, le voy a entregar los niños a la maldad.
Look at this story out of Venezuela this week.
Mira esa historia en Venezuela.
This is a horrible story.
Esa es una noticia terrible.
Girls as young as 13 years old
Las niñas de la edad de 13 años
are selling their bodies for prostitution to get food.
están vendiendo su cuerpo en prostitución para obtener comida.
They're selling their bodies
Están vendiendo su cuerpo
so that they can eat.
para poder comer.
This is what happens when you take God out of your society.
Eso es lo que pasa cuando quitas a Dios de tu sociedad.
And then finally, the last prophecy, war. Matthew 24, verse 7.
Y guerras, en esta última profecía de Mateo 24:7.
Yeshua talks about wars.
Yeshua habló de guerras.
Okay, what's going on in the Middle East right now
¿Qué está pasando en el Medio Oriente ahora mismo?
is Iran through Yemen
Es que Irán tiró a Yemen
fired a ballistic missile at Saudi Arabia last week.
y a través de Yemen lanzó un misil balístico a Arabia Saudita
It traveled 500 miles.
y atravesó unos 500 millas
It was about to strike the capital of Saudi Arabia,
y estaba a punto de impactar en la capital de Arabia Saudita,
but it was shot down by the Patriot missile system.
pero fue derribado por el sistema de protección.
It would have killed thousands and thousands of people.
Hubiese matado miles y miles de personas.
So what Saudi Arabia did last night, next slide.
Lo que hizo
Lebanon.
Arabia Saudita o el Líbano anoche.
Well, first, the Lebanon president left Lebanon for Saudi Arabia. They were going to kill him.
El primero es que el presidente salió de Arabia Saudita hacia el Líbano, o del Líbano a Arabia Saudita para ser protegido.
So what happened last night,
Lo que pasó anoche,
Saudi Arabia's Air Force
la Fuerza Aérea de Arabia Saudita
destroyed the capital of Yemen.
destruyó la capital de Yemen.
They had a major military strike on that capital.
Tuvieron un gran ataque ahí en la capital de Yemen.
This is going to escalate, everybody.
Esto va a aumentar.
And you think it might be over there.
Y puedes pensar que solamente allá.
Don't worry, it's coming here.
No te preocupes, se va a llegar aquí.
Okay, so get yourselves ready. Make sure you have enough extra food and things for when the power goes out.
Asegúrate de que tengas suficiente comida
And
para
ammo.
y un
And
arsenal.
if you can get a license to carry a gun,
Y si puedes obtener una
the
licencia,
Bible
para-
says you can defend yourself.
la Biblia dice que puedes defenderte a ti mismo.
All right, that's enough news for now.
Esto es suficiente por hoy.
So you're out there, 971 of you on English.
Unas 970 personas en inglés.
Hit the doggone donate button.
Por favor, presiona el botón de donar.
And here we're going to take up a tithe and offering.
Aquí vamos a tomarlo.
Shalom. My name is Messianic Rabbi Andrew Dinnerman, and I invite you to come to visit our congregation. If you are in the tri-state area, come out and visit with us on Shabbat. We are a congregation of Jews and Gentiles, living as one in the Messiah Yeshua. Bgmc is a place of true worship. The focus never wanders from the Hebraic roots of our faith. Beth Goyim is rooted in the Word of God from Bereshit through to the book of Revelation. Messiah's strong words against man-made tradition are carefully recorded in Matthew 7. That is the reason we only follow the straight-up instructions found in Scripture. Truly, the way, the truth, and the life. If you're looking for a deeper walk with Adonai, come out for our Tuesday evening Bible study called Messianic Torah Time. Come, spend a day with us on any Shabbat. We start at 11 a.m. with the sound of the ancient Hebrew shofar. Next, we offer our King praise and worship in English, Hebrew, and Spanish. After worship, we review the headlines in the previous week's news from around the globe, especially news from the Holy Land, Israel. We don't just list the news headlines as current events, but we comb through the scriptures, searching for clues to understand what they mean and then to help pinpoint prophetically our current position on Adonai's clock. After digesting all that modern information, we leave the world behind as we journey with our Adonai deep into his eternal word, not with just one or two scriptures, but usually 7 or more scriptures. The spiritual nourishment and the richness of his kingdom become accessible to the ones who share this special time and seek them out. The day does not end there. Because Shabbat is so special to him, there is always so much more that our King desires to share. So instead of separating and leaving, we stay together as a family for potluck lunch and an afternoon study of our King's Word. We close the Shabbat together with a reading of the new week's parashah. That's the Torah portion. Even after those blessings, many of us just can't get enough. So the members bring prepared homemade foods to share while we all enjoy an uplifting movie together. If all that information is not quite enough, you can check out our website where you will find over 200 video teachings and biblical holy day studies. Under Messianic Torah Time, the Hebrew Roots button, you'll discover free studies on many different topics. including PowerPoint slide presentations. If Beth Goyim sounds like a place you'd love to visit, but you live outside the tri-state area, there is still a way to connect with us. We stream live on the internet on Tuesday, Thursday, and Shabbat. The website is www.bethgoyim.org. That's BETHGOYIM.org. Our phone number is 973-338-7800 or 978-2-YESHUA. That's 978, the number 2, Yeshua. Shalom.